Yikes!
Well, that seems to have worked. So here's the repaired wing. You can now carefully flip this up. And this still rotates back. I should have it this way. So here's the repaired wing. I've got the screw in their little divot, and just in case it needed more clearance, I shaved down a little bit here on the inside of the fuselage. And I think as long as I'm careful with this, it should be fine to transform back and forth. The only thing is, because it's a screw, that's going to be turning every time, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on that to make sure it stays tight. And I can always snug it up if it does get loose. But just snug. I don't want to over tighten it or it's going to strip those threads out. So those are new threads made by that screw when I've put it in. The hole I drilled was slightly smaller than the screw, of course, otherwise I'd have nothing to bite into. There we go, that's nice and tight now. So yeah, I'm glad I was able to fix that, because I don't think I was going to be able to get a replacement. So just for good measure, let's transform him back once again. I'll leave these like that. So, up. I'll have to be careful with this one too, because I don't want to have to do the same repair on the other wing. I do quite like the color scheme on this guy. I think it's, yeah, especially the face. It's a good choice of complementary blue and burgundy. I'm not sure if these are supposed to go up or down, but I think I'll leave them up. Otherwise they're just sort of hanging there. So there's our fixed nacelle. I did end up using the smaller of the two screws because this one was going to be too big, and the wing is thin enough that it would have split. What's happening here? Oh dear. So the loose one here is the original. Okay, I just snapped that back in place. It just came a bit loose. It's actually loose, more loose than the repaired one. I wonder if I'm going to have to fix that one too. Well, I guess buyer beware with the club figures. I don't know if this is common, but I have had another breakage with the Cobra Commander that came in the old Snake that came with the two Soundwave repaints as bats. It's the first time I bent him at the elbow. I was test out all the joints when I get a new G.I. Joe figure, and the elbow snapped right off. But the Fun Pub did send me a replacement for that. So I just had to mail back the broken figure. Yeah, so good service from them. As I say, I'm sure if I'd bought this directly from them, I'm sure they would have replaced it for me. But since I didn't actually try to contact them. Anyway, if any of your Seekers break, you might be able to fix it this way too. I hope that helps. So that is Nacelle Transfixed. Since I'm showing off my little work area here, this is another mod I just did yesterday. This figure I'm going to have to do a gush video on because he's brilliant. This Black and White Optimus Prime, which of course is the Nemesis Prime color scheme. This is a gun that I ordered from eBay. It's a knockoff, it's a copy of Optimus Prime's gun, but just molded in one single cast, and with the black and teal for the black repaint Nemesis Prime. The problem was that it was made for the Masterpiece figure. It didn't fit in this guy's hand, which has something I haven't seen before. It's a hinged thumb, and then it's got a little peg inside the palm, which probably won't show up very well, but that is to lock into his sword hilt. So that would peg into this that little rectangular depression that you see there. So what I tried to do is copy that on the handle for this. I wasn't able to shave it down. At first I tried shaving the handle down. It was a rectangular one with a notch on a tab on either side, like the Masterpiece guns have. That didn't work because it was hollow, and I started shaving right into the handle itself. So what I did is I just cut it right off, and then I used a piece of 5mm diameter plastic that I got in a pack of Evergreen Plastics, and I cut it to length. As you can see, it's white. Cut it to the length I wanted, drilled a hole here, and super glued it in. I cut this notch here with how did I do that? Oh, I cut it first with a sort of a drill bit, and then sort of a drill bit that can cut a bit sideways. I'm not sure what to call it, but it's one of the Dremel attachments, and then I just sort of carved out a rectangular shape using a hobby knife, one of these, and now that plugs right in there like the sword does. Oh, and of course I gave it a coat of matte black paint. I guess if your name is Matte Black, shout out to you. Ha ha. Anyway, yeah, so that looks quite good, I think. I think he should have come with a gun. The sword is really cool, but he needs to have a gun. So now he has a gun. Gun. Okay. And yeah, I'm going to show this guy off in a future video. I've got to be kidding me. So I was just filming this, and I knocked over a nacelle as I was doing so, and yeah, when you know it, the other wing snapped off at the peg, and you can't see it because this white is reflecting all the light, but yeah, there's where it snapped off. Right there, peg stuck in there again. I'm gonna have to repeat this whole procedure on the other wing. Not that it was too bad, but hopefully I can find more of those little tiny screws that came from some G.I. Joe spare parts. So I do have a bag of them, so I suppose I won't have a problem with that. But wow, that's really disappointing. This plastic is just too weak, and I guess it doesn't help about these misassembled joints. I would complain, but I don't know if the club is going to be around any longer. They are not renewing their license, from what I've heard, so we'll see. So step one is you got to get that plug out of there, and what you want to do is use something small just to push it out, and don't push it out against your finger or you're going to jab yourself. Put it down on a flat surface, like I should have done, like I did with the other one, and then push it through there. But yeah, I have this resting on a flat surface, like a table edge, so that you don't push and cause stress on that joint. You don't want to break it off the body. That fits pretty flush now. Okay. That'll work. Let's see how deep we went here. Okay, I'm going to put my thumb here. So that's our depth. That should fit the screw just fine. Yep, more than enough. So now all I have to do is screw that into place. And it will be fixed. No time at all. There we go. I didn't shave the body this time because I think I got enough of a countersink in there. So let's see, let's put this in place. Just carefully snug this up into place. Especially the first time because we're making new threads here. That screw is not self-tapping, but it will thread into the plastic. It's going to be really careful we don't go too far. We don't want to split anything. Okay, that's good and tight. So we got 2 tight wings, and he's really excited about it. Hey, thanks for fixing me. Sorry I'm a piece of crap that you paid $80 for. Yay! Transfixed.